So today on the Ministry of Guitar, we're going to talk about why this guitar that I'm holding is one of the best sub $1,500 guitars for metal. But more important than that, we're going to be talking about a trend in recent years that all guitarists should take advantage of. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ministry of Guitar. I'm Utkarsh coming to you from Singapore. So this is going to be a series that I actually did a few years ago before the channel was any size. But I really liked it and I think I want to bring it back. And the series is Collection Chronicles, where I will go through an individual guitar in my collection just to show you the guitar. It's not about reviewing the guitar as such, though of course it will end up being a review. But hopefully you'll learn a few things. So today we're going to talk about this one. This is a PRS SE Student Edition, so the made in Korea versions at that time. Mark Holcomb signature. It's limited edition because this is the Stealth limited edition. So let's talk about what this guitar is and the thing that I mentioned in the beginning, which is an important trend that today in 2025 that most guitarists should take advantage of. Okay, so what is this guitar? Well, let's start off with what a Mark Holcomb is. A Mark Holcomb guitar is Custom 24 is based on the original Custom 24, but it has a few alterations made by Mark Holcomb for the purpose of making it suitable for his needs. Read metal, yet a lot of nice clean stuff. So the scale length has been extended to 25.5 instead of 25. That helps it get into lower tunings. It has higher output pickups. In this particular guitar, these are Alpha Omegas. Now, Mark Holcomb has a more updated set with Seymour Duncan, forgetting the name. You can look it up. So there's that. Then there is a hardtail bridge, a very hip shot style hardtail bridge, which compared to a tremolo that you get in normal Custom 24. And then more importantly, or equally importantly, you have the fretboard radius, which is instead of being the standard PRS fretboard radius, which I think is 14 inch. God, I forgot the PRS. Sorry, 10 inch, of course. This is the 20 inch fretboard radius. So so it makes it flatter, makes it easier to play leads. Flatter is generally good for metal, so that's one thing to note. What else? Yeah, that's it. Those are the changes. Now the SE version of a Custom 24, which is the more affordable version, what they do is they don't have the full carve, they have a semi-violent carve. And what you have is you don't have actual maple tops, you have maple veneer. So this is the maple veneer as well. One more thing to note with the Mark Holcomb, this has the thinner neck, pattern thin neck, which combined with the 20-inch radius makes it rather interesting. Okay, so this is the Stealth. And the Stealth, in my opinion, is one of the best limited runs that PRS has done at an affordable price point. In fact, forget PRS. I think for a sub $1,000 limited run, this is one of the best limited runs. And I'm rather partial to it because I have a few guitars with the Stealth. Can you see behind me? I'm pointing at it. That's my Stealth SE277, and I have a Stealth baritone as well. So what Stealth did was it gave it a satin finish. It gave it a quilt top, which you can see over here. Quite a nice looking quilt top. Of course, it's a veneer, as I mentioned earlier. And an ebony fretboard. So this is very, very metal because it's all dark gray, satin, ebony, quilt. It's very metal. It's perfect, if you play in a metal band or something with that sort of aesthetic, something with a gothic aesthetic. So I'm very, very partial to this particular run. But more than that, what I want to call out with this particular guitar, the Mark Holcomb SE, is in general, the Mark Holcomb SE, if you're into any sort of heavier music, or actually you don't even need to be, if you just want a very, very playable, very reliable guitar, and you do play with distortion, I can think of the Mark Holcomb SE as a very good option, even compared with the normal Custom 24 SE, because it gives you reliability because of the hardtail. Not to say that the normal Custom 24 is not reliable, but this is better because hardtail is inherently simpler than having a tremolo, no matter how good the tremolo is. And the 20-inch radius does make a difference. I would say that If you're really used to very round radiuses, say you're used to Fender 7 1/4 or whatever it is, maybe it's a little bit more difficult. But if you're used to any sort of modern guitar, Ibanez or whatever, you'll be absolutely fine, and it'll actually feel very good. But let's talk about the important thing that I want to talk about. Just as just as I wrap off showing you the back of the guitar, which is also very nice black. Now, these guitars are from an era. This one was made in, sorry, I'm just looking up the dates, 2017. So this is from 2017. These guitars were less than $1,000, or about $1,000 new. And what has happened since 2017 is everything. So inflation, supply chain crunches, all of that. So a guitar with this equivalent quality today is probably about $2,000. Now, there are two ways of looking at it. One way of looking at it is, damn, everything's become expensive, we are screwed, blah, blah, blah. The other way of looking at it is, new guitars today, honestly, because of the combination of inflation and materials crunch, because some of the materials used on this guitar are rather expensive and today would not make sense even at a $2,000 price point. Some of it is due to just general things, how things are evolving. You get less and less good woods available, so on and so forth. You have to kind of find further ways of improving your bottom line. Any business has to do that. So one way of looking at it is that new guitars are feeling very expensive. You may pay $2,000 or $1,500 or $3,500, and you're like, this is all I get. You may not feel very happy about it. The other way of looking at it is, guitars are instruments that honestly improve with time, especially if they're well looked after, or even if they're reasonably looked after, right? So suddenly, guitars from this era, say 2015 to 2018, especially some of the PRS limited runs, but you can look at other brands as well. I'm just a little bit partial to PRS because I know them that well. But there are equally other brands and other limited runs or other runs, other guitars that were $1,000, $1,500 back then, that today are a bargain. This guitar is about, I don't know, I think this particular color may be a little bit more expensive. I haven't been tracking the market that closely. So maybe if you want the Stealth, it may be a bit more expensive. But if you just get a Mark Holcomb from that era, there are so many of them around. And honestly, for less than half the price of a new guitar of this quality, you get a guitar that's equally good, if not better. Because you can, I know the used argument has always been alive in all industries. But I think the used argument for guitars built between, say, 2015 to 2018, pre-pandemic, so to speak, is very strong right now, because that was kind of reaching a peak of guitar building where inflation had not hit yet, quality had really improved, especially at lower price points, right? And now all of those guitars are used guitars, and they're available in bulk, and they are very, very affordable. And honestly, the guitar market is not in a great place, at least as of right now in 2025. So rather than, scratching your head over, oh, new guitars are so expensive, or they don't seem worth the price, what do I get for that money? I would shop around for something like this. And I would really shop around for this. This is not on sale, by the way, in case you think I'm selling it. I'm not. But something like this, because you get something that's special, because it's a limited run. It's got a lot of appointments that you see on higher-end guitars. Very nice looking, very nice feeling, very nice playing. And even this will only run you like $1,000 or maybe at most $1,200, which is half. So, yeah, that's the way I look at it. It's not a great time for new guitars right now. We're all absorbing the brunt of inflation. But for lightly used guitars of a certain era, this may be the best time. Okay, let's knock this off, this collection chronicle, with how I got this guitar and maybe a few sounds. Maybe I will show you a few sounds. So two things. I got this guitar accidentally. I was not planning to buy it. I was not looking for it. I was just doing my usual perusal of the local classifieds, and this popped up. And the guy was asking a premium relative to the normal Mark Holcombs. But I love the Stealths, as I told you. I have the SC277. I don't remember if I had the 7 by then, or I can't remember. So anyways, I ran to the shop and I got it because the shop is not very far from my house. And as it turns out, my friend Zach, who's also into PRSs, you might have seen him on the channel earlier, he was also monitoring this guitar. And apparently, at that time, we didn't know each other that well. We knew of each other. So he was like, wow, I was monitoring this guitar and suddenly it disappeared. And then later he saw it in my house and he was like, oh, that's where it went. So yeah, And the reason he was monitoring this guitar was the satin finish. So he's a sucker for satin finishes. This is the normal Mark Holcomb comes with a gloss finish neck. This one comes with a satin finish. Okay, sound-wise, playability-wise, and this particular guitar, it's a this particular SE is one of the best SEs I have. I have many SEs. I have over 20 SEs, I think. And this is not a brag. I'm just I have a lot of them. I like them. And they're not all very expensive. So I've just kind of bought a lot of them over the years. I'm not only into expensive guitars. But of all my SEs, along with the Michael Ackerfeld, I think this is the best one. Something about it. Maybe it's just this particular guitar. Maybe it's the longest scale length. I don't know. It's just very satisfying to play, even in E standard or in drop D as I have it right now. So this guitar is just very playable. If there's one standout feature, it's very playable. The sound is all right. The sound is just Seymour Duncans are not my favorite sounds in general. So somehow I prefer bare knuckles. There's a certain characteristic of Seymour Duncan's bare knuckle. My preference is bare knuckle. So the sound is okay, but the playability of this guitar, for an affordable guitar, relatively speaking, compared to all the high-end guitars, is bar none. This is the best. All right, let me just play you out with some sounds, and I'll see you next time.